What up, folks? Welcome to No Report. My name is Lewis, and we have a Jay-Z centered live right now. That's where you're watching right now. The Jay-Z, P. Diddy, the saga continues here, folks. And a lot of news is broken today, not only with the drones that are circling the planet, but there's a Luigi Mangione update. So we are going to have videos after this live today, hopefully. So this one's going to be centered around Jay-Z and stuff, and how he's responded to the accusations. That's number one. How he's fighting back like hell, and how, like, I'm not really buying his guilt, folks. Full disclaimer: I don't know Jay-Z or any of these people, right? I don't even think I could tell you what a Jay-Z song sounds like, but I could tell you that, in my opinion, his characteristics, his reaction is that of a person that didn't do it. Now, here's another aspect of the story too: the bizarre, almost like people wanting him to be guilty. I don't get it. In this case, I think the lawyers made good. His lawyer, Alex Spiro, has made a good point. Here we're going to go over his press conference. He goes over it why I guess Jane Doe's interview is inconsistent. She had an interview where her story was inconsistent. Doesn't mean she's not a victim. I don't know. But he's going to go over it. And this guy, Alex Spiro, is a really good lawyer. He's no Luigi lawyer. But yeah, I mean, he defends Elon Musk. You know, that guy, that real dumb guy that is worth over $400 billion. Everybody claims he's dumb, but geez, man, I wish I was that dumb, honestly, as Elon Musk. But we'll get into that another time. Now, I'm trying to get Jules in here, but let's see. We had a few audio issues. Let's see if they are resolved. Mangione, there we go. Jules?
We still
have a delay.
Hi,
Jules.
Lewis.
Hey.
I guess they're not resolved.
Okay, we'll get you in for the next show, Jules.
If Lewis is...
Jules, could you be in the chat for me?
All right.
Thank you. Sorry about that, guys.
Hey.
Okay, so we're going to have Jules in the chat and everyone else in the chat. There we go. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Luigi later in another video and stuff. Mangione, okay? But we're going to go over this Alex Shapiro's video, and we're going to break it down. And I am not going to be... I'm sorry, folks, if you believe in guilty before going to court and being proven innocent or guilty. This is not the show for you. If you... believe those who accuse no matter what, this is not the show for you. I'm looking for facts and logic and stuff. So let's do that, okay? That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for facts and logic. I'm not a fan of Jay-Z, Diddy, anyone. I don't follow this music. I'm sorry, I don't. But I can tell you what, if I get falsely accused, I'm probably gonna act like this dude. First, put out a statement. She wants to do a civil case. I would step up and say exactly what Jay-Z said. This is a serious thing. Let's do a criminal case. All right? Let's do a criminal case. Okay, Jules, I'll wait a little bit. And then he went to his daughter's red carpet for Mustafa, right? Is that the way you pronounce it? The Lion King sequel or prequel, whatever. I don't know what the hell it is. But he went there, him and Beyonce and Beyonce's mom, they were at the Disney premiere, and people dissed them. People were pissed. How could you do that? Mufasa. Okay. How could you do that? It was like, what is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do if he's falsely accused? That's what you do. So people were saying, oh, he's there, the nerve of him. My only thing is Disney has selective outrage because they got rid of Johnny Depp and Jonathan Majors. That's a Disney thing, not a Jay-Z thing. Does anyone here even know Jay-Z music? How else is he supposed to act if he's not, he's not guilty? How is he supposed to act? Now, obvious to me, the interest in Jay-Z is much less than P. Diddy and his case. You know what I mean? People love to watch I guess P. Diddy's way more popular. He's way more popular, right? Yeah, Jay-Z, you confront when you get falsely accused. That's the way you do it. All right? Just like I confront when the algorithm here hates me, and you all need to go to Rumble, Nerd Report on Rumble, just a suggestion. You'll get all the notifications there. Take a second to go on the Rumble. I'm dropping the link in the comments. Did anyone get notified for this? Did you get notified? How do you know I was on? Let me know in the comments. So Jay-Z's from the 90s. Interesting. Well, why are you... I don't feel sorry for Jay-Z or Beyonce. Why? But I'm sad for Ivy. Why? I feel bad. Right now, Jay-Z's innocent. Do you know something I don't? I feel bad for Jay-Z if he's innocent. And Beyonce. What country, city, or state are you all watching from? Let me know in the comments. I feel bad for Blue Ivy as well because she's reading the internet and people are like, guilty first. You got to prove yourself innocent. Could anybody explain why Jay-Z is guilty? Because, I mean, from what I've seen, this first... Notified. I don't know. I don't see any reason. I haven't seen anything with this case leading to Jay-Z's acting weird or anything like that. It's like people are rooting for the dude to be guilty or something. That testimony, that interview by the young accuser, sounded like what people think Hollywood acts like, not what Hollywood is like. Money like this can buy freedom. He and his wife are in all Diddy's photos. I will take my time and wait to see. That's a good way. There's also a Barack Obama being interviewed by Diddy. Who voted for Obama here? If he was innocent, he'd be tied to Diddy for decades. Barack Obama gets interviewed by Diddy and endorsed by him all the time. Are they? And also, it's the hip hop. That doesn't make that with all due respect, that does not make him guilty. It's the hip hop industry. They take pictures together because they're part of like the same genre. They collab for PR. I mean, that's a possibility. Oh, okay, Michael. 1 second. I know how the industry works. I've been part of it. I've seen it. Never was big in it, super popular, but I've seen it. These photo ops are meant for people to talk. I dropped the invite in the comments, Michael. Sometimes people take photo ops for people to talk about their new projects and say, look, Jay-Z and P. Diddy are are making a new album or whatever. I don't know. They're both hip hop artists, right? I took a picture with Ezra Miller. And remember, innocent before proven guilty is not because I'm in love with any actor or fanboying or whatever. It's there to protect you and I. It's there to protect you and I, folks.
You have to look at different pieces of.
Can you hear that?
When you're.
Can you guys hear that? Let me know in the comments. Right? Yeah, not all rappers get along, but they do collaborate. And they collaborate to make money. Are they part of the same? Brandon, are these two part of the same record label? Yeah, people want to tie anyone who, all celebrities who attended Diddy events, but they voted for Obama and they voted for Kamala Harris, who I do not think they have anything to do with those parties. But for some reason here, all, guilty before. So what? There's plenty of people I talk to that I shake their hand, hang out with them for 5 minutes. Everybody takes pictures, and then I go home. This is a good point right here, though, or at least the beginning of it. Americans are becoming anti-celebrity. Yeah, because, they talk down on us, a lot of them. But that is no excuse to falsely accuse someone of R word. Yeah. And also, let me see right here. All right. Welcome, Jules.
Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. Your name is Michael, but we know it's you.
Yeah, it's me. Sorry. I've been listening, though.
Oh, yeah. Welcome, Jules. Americans are becoming anti-celebrity, but that is an excuse to falsely accuse someone of the R word. Yep. All right. Well, let's see this. I'll wait to see all that comes out as part of this mess. I think there's a lot more, just my personal opinion. Sure. But the thing is, and of course, with all due respect, we love you. But I don't mean to single you out, but I've seen a lot of people, they come forward with, he is guilty, and they can't really tell me why, other than he took a picture with someone. And that's messed up. Just because somebody took a picture with someone does not mean they're guilty. And also, like, dude, politicians that hate each other take pictures with each other. Everyone takes everyone in the same industry takes pictures. It's called PR, public relations. Oh, look, what's cooler? I took a picture of Jay-Z, or I took a picture of Jay-Z and P. Diddy. I'm talking about, obviously, P. Diddy pre-accusations. People talk, so they combine their social media, their pull, their influences, and guess what? The next week they have an album. Doesn't mean Jay-Z or P. Diddy attended or knows, who they whatever boinked. And I'm like I said earlier, I'm not looking for people validation in the chat. I don't care. Someone told me a long time ago that, sorry for the cough, that you want people to remember you as a guy or a person who stand on your values and principles, not for validation. And in years, you will be remembered like, man, that Lewis guy, we thought he was full of shit, but it turns out he was right. Right, Jules? I'm full of shit.
Yeah, I listen. I don't know what to think about this whole thing. I could just tell you what my personal opinion is, and this is, I'm not throwing any shade at anyone. First, let me make it real clear. I don't like Jay-Z. Never have, probably never will. I don't even think that I can name a song. I have no earthly idea about anything when it comes to him. But I will say this. The stuff that's going on out there is beyond ridiculous.
Yep.
In a court of law, you are innocent until you're found guilty. And that's the end of the story on that.
If you don't like that, there's a country. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, but you're right. And none of this for me is adding up. And, I'm going to just say what my reasons are for what I'm about to say. You all know that I am a survivor of these very allegations that are made. Obviously, not a well-known person, but you don't mistake a year. You just don't. Okay, I could tell you what year. I can tell you how many times. I could tell you where they took place. There isn't anything that I do not remember or will misspeak. And that was 60 years ago. I'm sorry, when something like that happens to you, it lasts forever. I don't care how much therapy you have either. It just is always, always there. So her inconsistencies, not buying it. And to say, oh, maybe the father was paid off. Come on, guys.
That's Alex Jones territory.
Yeah. I mean,
So to me, like, you're gonna find an excuse no matter what. Like, if you want, like, what if the father was abducted by aliens, is really dead, and he's a shapeshifter? It's like, I could go on with silliness, man. When we talk on Nerd Report, it is a goofy name. We're nerds. We nerd out on shit. We have fun, but it's like we stay in reality a lot, man. And if you want to like have a serious debate and come out with like if the dad's selling out, come on.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that. I'm sorry. And the father to not remember that he had to drive 5 hours from Rochester down to New York to get her, and a 5-hour drive back. Come on. No.
So Farrell says, what about the accuser? She's going to be held accountable for her lies or consistencies, or
I don't know.
No. Jay-Z's ruined forever, in my opinion. There's always going to be people that no matter what, and that's not the way to go. That's not the way to go.
And I don't know. She may be held accountable as an example toward any other accusers from coming forward, which is not a good thing, because if there are other accusers out there and this truly did happen to other people, what happened here is a disservice to other people that have been essayed.
Well, we should have seen a little. I'm not saying Busby's wrong, but we should have seen the writing on the wall. Like, seriously, 100. How many accusers? 160?
Well, that's for Diddy.
Yeah, but I mean, oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he's got that plus Jane Doe.
I don't know how many. I don't know how many accusers are out there where Jay-Z is concerned. Oh, my son is saying a lot. I don't know.
There are a lot of accusers for Jay-Z.
But in any case, this particular case kind of screwed everything up for Busby. I
wish no. I think everyone should have their time for justice and speak their mind, but it doesn't help that, and it doesn't help that people are like quick to say guilty before proven innocent.
That's
and
not
stuff
how
like.
our country works.
No, and these people that do that, they need to be made fun of, like I do, because they're ridiculous. All right. If you think guilty just because someone accused or you had a situation, I'm sorry. If you are a victim, you don't have. I know you have an experience. It doesn't mean it's Jay-Z's accuser's experience. It's different. You know,
That's true. That's
it's
true.
everyone has a different experience, man. And unfortunately, and stuff. So there you go. My only uniquely says my only problem with this is that Tony Busby should have vented her just as he does his own clients. Isn't she one of his clients though?
Yeah, and I'm not buying Busby's statement that she came from another law firm. So I don't care.
Jennifer says not everybody remembers a trauma so clearly, though. That I do agree. There's different aspects to it, but Jennifer, she was giving details that a certain band member was there complimenting her tattoos. You know what I mean? So like,
It's not true.
so that, yeah. So no, I get it. There's the other side. She may still be a victim. I don't know. I don't know, but Jay-Z's not acting like a victim. People are backing him up. People with big names, such as Stephen A. Smith, who is a big name. I mean, he's putting his name and saying, I don't think Jay-Z did this. Gene Rick, thanks for the super sticker. Folks, by the way, thanks for supporting Nerd Report. You could do it just like Gene Rick did right there with a super sticker. Let me see if I get a couple more comments. Okay. Her story doesn't add up. That's correct, but not everyone clearly remembers traumatic events. That's where I disagree, but I agree her story doesn't make sense. Well, that's pretty much what it is. But I see a lot of absolutism when this is being covered, and I don't think there's absolutism.
No, there isn't. And I have a question for you, Louis. What are your thoughts about the claim of the mystery son? Because just because somebody is out there saying he's my father doesn't make it so. Remember Sean Astin?
Well, you mean the mystery son and everyone's saying they look alike? That one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one.
Look, man, take this for what it is. I don't know. But as far as looking alike as your definitive clue, guess what? I'm Cuban and I look like a lot of Cubans.
I'm Italian and I look like a lot of Italians.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, we and a lot of humans look alike.
Yeah.
That being said, just take, man, but see if he takes the test and everyone's going to come forward, right?
I mean, well, look at Sean Astin. For years and years and years, he thought that one guy was his father. And the guy kept saying, I'm not your father. I'm not your father. And after like 15 years of him being told, you are my father, he took a test and it turned out he was never his father. And Sean Astin and Patty Duke had to apologize for that. So, a lot of people are gambling with a lot of things. I mean, to come straight out and say that's his kid, that's his secret kid, I don't think it's right. And so what if it is? There's plenty of people out there that have secret kids, for whatever reasons. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not buying that. And again, the guilty until proven innocent. Look at what happened with Michael Jackson. I ain't gonna lie to you. And at first I thought he was guilty. I thought he was.
Yeah.
Same thing with Johnny Depp. In the beginning, I thought he was.
Look, I'm a believer. Well, no, I know this for a fact. When people are innocent and they get accused, they climb to the top of the highest building in the city and they yell out that they're not guilty.
Mhm.
And then for some reason, this weird ass generation thinks that's a sign of guiltiness. No, you confront your shit, man. Let's start with this real quick. Can
Yeah.
you guys hear this?
When you're,
Can you guys hear that? Let me know in the comments. If you guys heard the beginning, I'll play it. I'll pause it. I'll continue it. Okay, let's see. Video reaction.
Shut up.
He wants to react to.
trying to evaluate whether something occurred, you have to look at different pieces of the narrative. The location, where it happened, the witnesses, who were they, what did they say, the details. Details are very important in time.
He did it like a school teacher right there. Perfect.
I think he's splendid.
Yep. I mean, Elon Musk is like got him to represent him, right?
Yeah.
Not bad for a dumb guy, Elon Musk. That guy keeps winning.
So we start off with the location. And according to their complaint, after approximately 20 minutes, she arrived at a White House with a U-shaped driveway and a gate. There is no such location in New York, 20 minutes from Radio City. It does not exist. There is no such location.
First, gotcha.
We don't know whether they created a location in order to try to get jurisdiction in New York so they could bring this case in New York, or whether they just didn't do their homework. But any New Yorker knows there is no such location. Beyond that, this was supposed to have taken place at Mr. Combs' after party, according to them. When you look at the homes associated with Mr. Combs during that period of time, and even not during that period of time, none of them matches. He had a townhouse, he had a house in the Hamptons hours away, and he had homes in New Jersey, but not at that time.
Wow. So they I don't, why did she do an interview again? Already two big
Dumb.
points. Yeah, that's weird.
I'm sure she did it for money because.
And again,
Well, I mean, win the case, prove your point, and then fucking do autographs at Comic-Con. I don't know. This is not the way you do it. Now she ain't gonna do shit.
when you really bear down on the location and his whereabouts, you quickly realize, because if there's photographic evidence, if witnesses are coming forward, that Mr. Carter was at a commercial establishment after the VMAs. It wasn't at a house. Unfortunately for them, they needed to create this house in order to create the narrative. But he wasn't at a White House that did not exist. And this is a photograph of him at a location after the VMAs. So as we can continue through this, that Jane Doe does not say that the assault happened at a commercial establishment. She can't. That wouldn't make any sense. Yet they stand by it. They double down. They triple down. White House. The White House doesn't exist.
She named the color of the house and it doesn't exist.
And then we get to the witnesses.
Right.
And I think at the outset, everybody has to remember that in 24 years, not a single witness has ever come forward saying this happened. Quarter of a century. Think about it.
Yeah, I have a question for the chat. There's like a few people here, all right? Has Jay-Z ever been accused of anything? Because I don't hear too much. Some people say, yeah.
Not that I'm aware of.
I mean, look, there's also the hip-hop, how would you say, vibe, the hip-hop kind of like the vibe you give out of a friggin' tough guy and womanizer and this and that. Gangster sometimes, but Fuzz says he's never been accused of anything. So where is this like hatred for him? Is it because people are upset that he gets girls? Is that it?
I don't know. I mean, like I told you, I don't particularly care for him. I don't like that music. I don't follow that culture. I don't know what the deal is. Griff, Professor Griff, Michael. Yeah. So I don't know.
About that. She says she's at the party alone, this 13-year-old girl, and she finds herself in the room with the three most famous people at the party. Just think about how unnatural, how little common sense that makes. And according to her, one of the witnesses is a female celebrity who's just standing there watching the repetitive rape of a child. That celebrity does nothing, says nothing, reports nothing. And in fact, they won't even identify her. According to them, there's an adult female in the room watching the rape of a child. They refuse to identify her. So then we continue. And you look and there's celebrities that she says she's mingling with before. Afterwards, she says she runs out of
Louis, I think you're muted.
Oh, I apologize. I thought you were muted. So, okay. Uniquely Susie, retired hospice nurse. Thank you very much for that, for your service. You're saying he dates younger women, underage? That's not a good sign. Okay, so my question is, what underage woman did he date? Who? Which underage woman did he date? I want to know so we could call him out. Because I don't want to be. He admitted to cheating on Beyonce. I mean, that's not really illegal.
Cheating is immoral, but it's certainly not illegal.
Correct. Sorry about that. I was muted. But I want to know, who did he date, or who said he's dating, someone's underage. Foxy Brown was underage? I don't know. Was she? Yeah, I don't know. But again, I hate to be that guy, but does that have anything to do with this girl right here? I don't know.
No, it's a separate issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a "but look over there" type of thing, right?
Shh.
None of them noticed that. None of them pay any notice. For 24 years, none of them has said anything. And so she's just asked in this interview, she's asked, well, I mean, celebrities are recognizable people. Surely you can tell us one celebrity that was there. Just give us one name so that we know this happened.
Reimers, Moma, what was underage when they got her pregnant? I don't know. I never seen any of this. Foxy Brown, as soon as she turned 18. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. Like, people are just throwing mud. I'm not going to do that on Nerd Report.
And she says, okay, Benji Madden was there. And she wants to conjure up religion and say, I'm religious. I remember his tattoo. She looks.
Yeah, I was never officially dated Foxy, but everyone knows. Really? Everyone knows?
And remember so vividly the tattoo and the conversation with Mr. Madden. And Mr. Madden wasn't there. He already said he wasn't there. His tour schedule said he wasn't there. And he wasn't there because this never happened. None of this ever happened. And you keep going and you ask yourself, well, who is this complaining witness? She does not come forward with her real name. She proceeds under Jane Doe. There's no report to the police. According to her, she never tells anybody for 24 years. Not one person, not alone in the car for 5 hours at home, on her way home. Not one person, not a diary.
God dang, that was quiet again.
Most people, when this happens, there's a need to tell somebody. We call these prompt outcry witnesses. In most complaints like this, people tell somebody. She says nobody for 24, 25 years. And then we get to the details. And I want to make sure this is clear. When people make up an account, whether intentionally or their mind is playing tricks on them, they can always get that core part of the story.
I'm saying, folks, if you all are people that are saying these things about Jay-Z, if you post it, you better have receipts because he is coming to sue.
Right. They can just keep repeating it over and over and over again. This is what happened, that core part. But they're always going to mess up the details. When something isn't real, when something doesn't happen, you're going to get the details wrong because you weren't really there. And so she starts with her story about her friend that dropped her off. Okay? This drive of over 5 hours, the friend would have had to have gone 10 plus hours to drop her off because she's got to get there. If this is real, she's got to get there. But guess what? This friend of hers, she doesn't get out of the car, right? Think about that. She's just leaving a 13-year-old girl alone in Midtown. She doesn't even want to get out of the car. She came all that way. There can't be a witness there. She can't have a witness there because this never happened. So as you keep going, you ask yourself.
So a friend dropped her off allegedly? Come on.
So, but how did she end up in the car in the first place? And so she creates this story. She says, I snuck out the window, right? But now we know she came from Rochester. So she would have been sneaking out of the window at 3 p.m. in the middle of broad daylight. Never heard of such a thing, defies common sense, doesn't make any sense because this never happened. And so she tells this story because she's got to create a way that she gets out of the house and ends up in New York City. And as we keep going here, the friend that implausibly leaves her there, there's then some pressure on that part of the story because it doesn't make any sense. And so the lawyer is asked, well, just produce the friend. And so he has to find somebody that can make this work. And of course, as soon as he's pressed, they find somebody who they say is no longer alive. They can't corroborate it, and there's nobody to talk to. Okay, and if we could keep going. Next slide. So she then gets there, right? And she has this vivid tale of watching it on a Jumbotron. It's in her complaint. Clear as day. There was no Jumbotron that year. Okay? I don't know whether they were Googling images and found the wrong year. I don't know whether she's just making it up out of whole cloth.
So now she's talking about things that didn't exist back then.
On that year. Okay? I don't know whether they were Googling images and found the wrong year. I don't know whether she's just making it up out of whole cloth. There is no Jumbotron. In fact, they didn't even get a permit, according to the police and the city, for the Jumbotron that year. So that didn't happen. None of the details are right because this never happened. If we can keep going. And then she says, I'm knocking on the doors and the windows of limousines and VIPs. Of course, that doesn't work either. If you look at the video, photographs, that whole area was blocked off. We've spoken to numerous people there that were in security. No one could have gotten anywhere near those cars because this never happened. She gets that fact wrong. And you know the whole story about, of all people, she knocks on Puff's window. 13-year-old girl in Midtown by herself. Just think about that. Think about how illogical that is. Keep going. Again, this is Eminem performing in the streets. No Jumbotron. All the cars barricaded. Her facts don't check out because it's never happened. We keep going. So what ends up happening then, and this is important, is her original account in the original complaint says that at 9:30 or 10, she's told to wait there to get a ride to the after party. Okay? That also doesn't work because there's photographs now of Mr. Combs, Mr. Carter at commercial establishments in New York after the VMAs. So this narrative of at 10 o'clock she ends up at this party can't work. They got caught. So they change it in the amended complaint that there's this multiple drop-off and pickup that lands them at this White House that doesn't exist.
Jay-Z did music with Foxy when she was young, and she has never come out and said anything about having anything happen with her. Still, till this day, so many people want him to be guilty. It's crazy. It's kind of looking like that. It's kind of looking like that. I'm probably the first one that put a video on YouTube saying, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't want them to be guilty because I don't want there to be victims. That's why I don't want them to be guilty. I don't want, and I hate to see people like him. And then you got to worry about the daughter. But you know what? If it's proven he's guilty, I will be back here saying, you know what? That's proof he's guilty. But right now, it's innocent until proven guilty.
So, as we continue, this is again her account of trying to change the story into this multiple drop-off period to get them at the house to deal with the fact that there's photographic evidence that that's not where the after party was in the first place. And so as this account continues,
got the locations very wrong.
You have to look at the timeline. You have to look at the timeline. So there's an old expression that time doesn't lie. Everything else that I'm talking about, these glaring inconsistencies, these are not minor inconsistencies. These are not minor problems with this story. This is utter falsehoods. Time never lies. And so if you look at the time, no matter what, this couldn't have happened. It's not even possible that this happened. And this is so important. So again, now that we know that it's a 5-hour drive in each direction, how she gets to the VMAs, okay, we're going to talk in some detail about this White House and whether or not they could have gotten there. And then again, Doe returns home to Rochester, okay? And this is very important. Because she returns home, she has to leave the New York area by 1:30 in the morning at the latest, okay? If you look at any of these White Houses and you look at the closest gas stations that could be to any of these White Houses, you have to leave this White House party by 12:45 in order to get to the gas station at 1:30.
I don't think Busby could vent all those people. There's just way too many, man. Really.
To call your father to pick you up to get home to Rochester at 6:30. So remember, she only has till 12:45 for everything that she says to have happened. The VMAs end at after 11. So you're talking about a window of a little more than an hour.
That's right. If he's guilty, we're going to come in here and we're going to say he was guilty. I was wrong. I don't have a problem. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of his music or Diddy's music. I couldn't even, like I said, I couldn't even tell you one track he's made. But I could tell you that his attitude is consistent with something, you know, that's being someone that's being falsely accused. And again, maybe it's not. I don't know. He needs a trial. And everything. But something tells me that everyone who is rooting for Jay-Z to be guilty, and if he comes out that he's not, something tells me those people are not going to come back to admit it.
That this could possibly have happened even by their own account.
Let the courts decide. You're correct.
And she says during that little bit more than an hour, not only does she get to the house, not only is she inside mingling with celebrities, she has a drink. She's then sexually assaulted in front of an adult female multiple times. She gets out of that. She fights through it. She leaves the house naked. She gets all the way to the gas station. She had 37 minutes to possibly do this. Okay, even under their account. Okay, and of course, the biggest problem, perhaps of all, is there's photographs putting Mr. Combs and Mr. Carter at different places, not in a White House during that 37 minutes. So when I tell you that it's not just that this story is a lie and that it's not true, it's provably, demonstrably false. This never happened. So we talked about this 37 minutes. The earliest, even if we didn't have that establishments.
That's their connection. And says the storyline has more holes than Swiss cheese.
According to her, the earliest they could have gotten to the house is 12:11. And the reason for that is if the VMAs end and the drive is 20 minutes, the driver has to go there, drop them off, come back, pick her up, bring her back. She can't get there. And again, this is lickety split. This is as fast as is possible. Okay. This is no traffic leaving Radio City in Midtown during an awards ceremony. 12:11. She has to leave that white residence by 12:48 in order for her father to pick her up at the gas station. 37 minutes. That's the entire window of opportunity here. So here again is the timeline. Shows the 11:11 VMAs end, the drop off, the pickup, and the drop off. Next slide. And again, here we are. You see the 37 minutes. This is the 42 minutes it takes to walk. This is the closest gas station. And this is, remember this is a 13-year-old girl walking who has issues, who is maybe drugged according to her, who's just been viciously raped multiple times, who was holding her own clothing trying to get to a gas station that she had never been before. Okay? No map, no cell phone, no nothing. Straight line, it's 42 minutes. Okay? The story doesn't work. It doesn't check out. Okay? This never happened. Next slide. These are all the things that they claim happened in that 37 minutes. Okay? And again, 37.
That is weird. When someone's 13, like S. Stone writes, you could tell. First off, 13-year-old has a friend that drives. You could, I mean, in California, you could drive at 16, but with an 18-year-old in the car. Then drops her off. Now, how is she signing an NDA underage? How does she know where the party was, and how didn't she stand out like a sore thumb? That part about standing out like a sore thumb is crazy. See, I don't think 16-year-olds could drive without an adult.
Is giving them every benefit of the doubt as how long this window could be. Every benefit of the doubt. But here's an even bigger problem. There are photographs of Mr. Carter and Mr. Combs at commercial establishments during the 37 minutes. They're not there. Even if you try to come up with the fastest possible timeline, I'm talking about no traffic, nobody getting in your way at the door, right to the bar kind of timeline. It still doesn't work because they had to leave Radio City. They had to go to the commercial establishments. Mr. Combs is photographed at 2 different commercial establishments with Jennifer Lopez, 2 establishments. They had to go to both of those establishments and get back to the White House. Get back to the White House before she has to leave at 12:30.
Nova, though, that's the rules I'm talking about because I was at that age at that time.
None of this can work.
And
in fact, and I think this is very important, you will notice in the photographs that Miss.
By the way, Saraí, thanks for coming back to the community, okay?
Lopez changes clothing between the 2 events that they go to in New York City. You can see in one photograph, she's wearing one outfit and another. So she had to be able to, in this 40-minute window, get to multiple events. They're seen drinking, socializing. She has to change outfits, change her hair, all within 40 minutes to get to that White House in time. And you're saying to yourself, so that's not possible. You're right.
Hey, what's up, Cultural Callout? Do you think he did a great with this breakdown? Question for the chat. Did he do great with this breakdown? Folks, who's going to match Cultural Callout with a super sticker? Is it going to be you? You could support the channel, super sticker, memberships. If you're a member, hit those membership emojis. What made you cry?
Right? It's not possible. It's because this never happened.
You cried.
And then we get to the end. She kept running until she reached a gas station. A female clerk noticed her.
Welcome back, Sarai. Everybody in the comments. Welcome back,
her father admitted that she had lied about her whereabouts. And this is a very small thing, very small.
Right.
But remember, when you leave house and you're 13, you have to have a story. You either have to sneak out and not have a lie, or you tell your parents a lie. Sort of two options, right? Earlier, she says, well, I didn't tell my parents a lie. I just snuck out the window, right? Here, she says, well, I lied. See, do you know what that means? That means she's lying even within her own story. They can't both be true. And I said earlier that no witnesses have come forward in basically a quarter of a century, except for one. Now there's one, her own father. The person who knows.
So this is the dad's account who doesn't have any accounts, but now people are saying he got paid. Come on. Do you think he got paid?
Was her best. And he came forward too. And he said, you know what? This never happened. This never happened. And his attention was drawn to it. I feel like I would remember that. And they said, but you've got a lot going on. Maybe you forgot this. You've got a lot going on. They told him, listen, you've got a lot going on. Try to see if they pressed him, if he stuck to his story. He said, yeah, I have a lot going on, but that's something that would definitely stick in my mind. Of course it would stick in your mind. You drove 10 hours to pick up your 13-year-old daughter in New York City. It's not something you would forget. It's not something that he did forget because this never happened. And of course, just like the friend that couldn't be there at the beginning, you can't have a witness to something that never happened. When asked, well, what did you say to your father in the car? What did you talk about? Nothing. She says, not a word was spoken. There can't be a conversation because this never happened. And so you got to ask yourself what's going on here, right? And you all saw that videotape of her being interviewed in the shadowy room. She's holding a teddy bear. She's talking about her issues, her head trauma. She's been through a lot in her life, you can tell. And so who took advantage of this? Why are we here? Why is this story getting created? And I'll tell you who took advantage of this. This lawyer took advantage of this. That's what's going on here. And you can see here, now that this is starting to unravel and the truth is coming out, he's starting to walk away from it. He's saying, oh, sorry, this case was referred to our firm by another firm, so I didn't really check it out, is basically what he's saying.
Damn, I've never seen a lawyer like straight up just go after another lawyer like that. Have you?
Right? He brings an accusation like this, attacks a man with the integrity of Mr. Carter, and all he has to say for himself now is, well, I didn't really check on this. I got a referral, trying to make a little bit of money, so we just went live with it. Next. Here is again the timeline that he went live with. In the face of this irrefutable, time doesn't lie evidence, he went live with it. And again, it doesn't work. This 37 minutes, it does not work. It does not work because there's photographs. There's photographs. You can find them on the internet of them. They're changing clothes. She's changed clothes. Do you know how long that takes for her to go to 2 events, change clothes, get inside, have drinks? They're socializing. They're not popping into these events. To then get back out into the suburbs somewhere at a house that doesn't exist? It's not possible. Actually not possible. He is for sure innocent of this accusation. Next slide. But this lawyer, he doesn't care about things like this. The only other person he's brought a complaint against for just mere association, merely being at a Sean Combs party, he's already been wrong about that one too. He had to change that one. If you look at the next slide, he got the year wrong. He said there was a party in the Hamptons. Mr. Combs was in Saint-Tropez at the time. Didn't check out. 2 claims, neither are checking out. We could keep going. And we have this, individuals calling my office, telling me story after story. And, I'm not going to get sidetracked. People think I'm going to start saying, explaining he's a grifter and all these things about him. I'm not
Wow.
here to talk about him more than I need to, but there's people calling the office saying, yeah, they were being pressured to say stuff, to say that they were with Mr. Combs. These are affidavits. They're filed in court. This is what you're dealing with here. Next slide. And so this is who took advantage of the woman in the shadowy video. He gives a press conference, 1-800 number.
Huh.
And he claims 2 days after posting that
Call
press
them out on
conference,
the
2 days,
800 number.
that he has 120 fully vetted plaintiffs. 120. Anybody that does this for real, anyone that knows what they're doing.
I'm not going to call them out. We're calling them out. Yep.
To interrogate and to be sure about even one person takes weeks. One person. You've got to find out if their story makes sense. Did they really get dropped off? Does any of it check out? Is there corroboration? Are there any witnesses? It takes weeks for one. He had 120 in 2 days. When he files these cases, he doesn't even enter his notice of appearance. He just has some other lawyer file them. He holds these press conferences. He says, listen, anybody out there, just call the 1-800 number.
Damn.
If you can put yourself anywhere near a Sean Combs party at any point, we can go after the other celebrities there. We can make money together. Just call the 1-800 number. That's all you need to do. And then we'll send a letter to the celebrity. They're not going to want to have this in the public light. And they're going to be shaken down and they'll send us money. So he just called the number. And Mr. Carter said no. He said, that's not going to happen anymore. I'm going to put my foot down. And that's what he did. And I would urge any other celebrity that's being shaken down right now to do the same thing and to stand with truth.
I don't know, folks. What are your thoughts right now on Jay-Z? Do you need more evidence, proof, time? Do you just think he's guilty no matter what? Or now are you starting to say, hey man, this guy's falsely accused?
None of this ever happened. And what this 1-800 lawyer is doing, he's taking the justice away from this. He's destroying this opportunity and the voices of real victims. And it's got to end. So, are there any questions?
All right. Questions from the...
Yes.
Question.
Sure.
So for the people that are calling your office, I'm assuming if it's not dismissed, like worst case scenario, and you guys move forward.
He answered these questions from the press like almost perfectly, and people were trying to say that he paid the people to ask those questions. It's like, it's ridiculous, man. That would leak.
To try and show that everything you just told us, what evidence are you guys submitting other than the accounts they're giving you over the phone? Like, do any of those people calling you have like emails between them and BuzzFeed or text conversations where they're encouraging this stuff? Yeah,
so let me divide that question into two if I can. We expect the case to be dismissed. If it's not, eventually this will all crumble because it can't possibly have happened mathematically. You don't even need witnesses. They don't have any witnesses because this never happened, and you don't need witnesses because the time doesn't work. There's literally photographic evidence that proves that this could not have happened. In terms of what's going to happen to Mr. Busby for this racket and everything else going on, time will tell. But this is how things unravel. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Who is Lex Intelligence, and has your firm ever hired them in connection with Tony Busby to investigate Tony Busby as he's alleged?
I don't know that firm, don't know those people, and the answer is no.
So this might just be an extension of the first question, but you said that there were people calling saying they were being pressured to say that they were with Mr. Combs. Can you elaborate on that, please? Are they calling you to say that they're being pressured?
Yeah, there was a witness that came forward that contacted my office and submitted an affidavit in court regarding this that accounted for what occurred on that day, which was they called the Busby firm. They said they had an inquiry. The inquiry had nothing to do with Mr. Combs, Mr. Carter, or any of this. And the people at the Busby firm said, well, why don't we try to push this in the direction of the Combs case? That's a better decision in sum and substance. That's a better way to go here. This individual refused to do that, contacted my office and signed them, and then an affidavit was submitted to court. Yes?
You mentioned the letters that Busby's been sending out to unnamed celebrities in relation to these Combs lawsuits. What were your interactions on behalf of Mr. Carter before he was renamed in the amended complaint?
Well, after the letter was received, we obviously knew this was completely false and we weren't going to be shaken down. So the efforts were nothing because there was nothing to discuss in any meaningful way.
Do you know who the Jane Doe is, like her actual identity? Has there been like research into that on your end?
Yeah, because it's a fair question. Because she's been blacked out in the video, and because a court has not unmasked her in court, I'm not going to get into her identity. You will notice that I did not get into some of her issues. I don't want to. It's really sad in many respects, and I don't want to get into that. So I'm not going to unmask her here today.
He says, I think this mess makes everyone not believe in the cases Busby has and his clients. Look, it was alluded to. I don't know Busby. I never followed him, but a lot of other people that are respectable, alluded to him being full of it a long time ago.
Has the accuser tried to reach out to Mr. Carter before, or any of his camp or anyone?
Not to my knowledge. Yes.
Busby indicated that there was a second alleged victim. Has he given any notice that he's pursuing that claim as well?
No, and I would hope not after what's going on here. Yes.
You mentioned in your recent filing on this docket that you were intending to file a motion to dismiss. What's the timeline on that? Are you working on that?
Yeah, so we did file a motion to dismiss the day after this was filed.
Right.
The Rule 11 letter, which basically says that a lawyer is not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to not vet a claim and file a false claim in court, or it needs to come down. The way that works, and it's a little technical, is that the court has to allow you to file faster than you should otherwise be allowed to file. So we are hopeful that the court will respond today and we will file that. If not, there are other things that we're going to do to bring the truth to light. Are there any other questions? Yes.
Are there any witnesses who will be corroborating Mr. Carter's testimony that he was not there that night? Or is that sort of what you're hinting at, that if necessary, you will provide those people?
Yeah, I mean, it's like asking to corroborate something that never happened. I mean, there are dozens and dozens of people that are going to say there was no party at the White House, that put all of these celebrities where they're already put in photographs in different places, not at a White House. Remember, according to her, all three of these people, I mean, you all have seen the photographs. I mean, on the internet, I just showed you some. All three of these people would have had to have been at this White House together, alone in a room. Just think about that. Alone in a room with this 13-year-old girl at exactly the time that they're at commercial establishments. So I mean, there's no proof better than time. But of course, there are going to be people that are going to say that they were all out that night and nowhere near a White House, and they went to an after party at a commercial establishment. And this is all fantasy.
If this case is dismissed after that, are you guys decided indefinitely to file anything in addition, like an information lawsuit?
This issue with a lawyer taking advantage of the situation is going to be dealt with. I can assure you. And I think sort of stay tuned. I think the first thing today was to make sure that everybody understands this is not an account of inconsistencies. I wanted everybody to understand that this never happened. This is completely false.
He keeps saying nothing happened is completely false. Smart on his side. Smart guy, man. That's why he's making the bucks as a lawyer. So there you go. The attorney has spoken. So my question is, what do you all think? Even if this stream is over, you could always comment in the comment section as you rewatch the video. So there's more stuff going on. Luigi Mangione, I keep getting his name wrong. The shooter, healthcare worker, United Healthcare shooter. There's some updates with him. I'll have a video on that maybe in an hour or two, or maybe less. I don't know. There's definitely another video right now that's going to hit around 7 o'clock Los Angeles time. Update on the drones that are circling the United States. So if you want info on that, that's on Nerd Report. It's going to be live. We'll bring you up to date. And then tonight, Grayson Report will be live around 8 o'clock talking about drones as well. So you're going to be redirected to Grayson Report right now. Make sure to hit the notification and stuff. But we'll see you later. Hopefully, hopefully you guys come in for our other videos. Or if you're new to Nerd Report, we have a lot of videos you should catch up on and stuff. So what do you think of this Jay-Z situation? Are you over it? Are you over it? Let me know in the comments. Nerd out.